ever made pizza on a grill? It'll change your life. Alright guys, so as you can tell based on the intro, we're going to be making pizza on a grill. And a few months ago, I didn't even know you could make pizza on the grill, let alone I thought it'd be hard. I thought you couldn't do it on a normal grill, but I tried it and I have never gone back to making pizza in the oven. So have y'all ever been to a pizza place that made it out of like a brick oven or something like that, more natural, and you can just taste the flavor as opposed to an oven? Well, the same concept applies when you make pizza on a grill. So I used to make pizza in the oven and it would just taste like normal bread you make at home, not too good. And it kind of discouraged me from making pizza at home. And then I tried it on the grill and everything changed. It was so good. It tasted like it was from a restaurant. And just like the flavors of the grill after it's been seasoned, it's fantastic. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. It's a super easy recipe, so stay tuned for that. So I just noticed my cabinet was open the whole time during that intro. A little bit embarrassing, you saw my messy spice cabinet, but let's go through the ingredients of what you need. I've got it all laid out here. So we're gonna be start off with your bread flour. If you don't have bread flour, it's okay, just use either all-purpose or self-rising. One note is if you do use self-rising, you will not be needing the yeast. So just ignore the yeast if you're using self-rising. But for the purposes of this recipe, you want bread flour, sugar, yeast, like I said before, and I like this Fleischmann's, I think that's how you pronounce it, active dry yeast. Comes in packets, you can just dump it in, super easy to use. And then for the seasonings we're gonna be using, you need olive oil. Make sure you use olive oil and not just like any regular oil. The olive oil gives it a unique flavor, more Italian, which would pair really well with the seasonings we're gonna use. So get your parsley, it gives it a nice color, and basil, and that's the only two seasonings I'm gonna be using. If you wanna take it a step further, feel free to add some thyme. Oh wait, that's Italian blend. Add Italian blend if you want, or thyme. If you want to use either of those, feel free. It's just a teaspoon of each. Oh yeah, and garlic powder, we need that. So based on this recipe, parsley, basil, garlic powder, and then of course salt. But if you want to take it a step further, use a teaspoon of whatever you want. So yeah, let's get started. So if you're familiar with our videos, normally Gracie would be here to help me film this, but she's not here today, so this is gonna be more vlog style. I hope that doesn't hinder y'all's comprehension of this. I'm gonna try to make it as understandable and try to work the camera in a way that you can follow along. So the first thing we're gonna do is get your Fleischmann's yeast, and you wanna make sure you have the active dry, so it'll rise, so it's like living. I don't know how yeast works, but what you're gonna do is get a cup of warm water, I think around 100 degrees, and so it's warm but not like scalding hot, and then let the yeast dissolve in that cup of water for about, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. Now, when you stir yeast, you don't want to be very rough with it because, like I said, yeast is a living organism. Not sure exactly how that works, but if you stir it very hard with a fork, it'll kill the yeast and your bread won't rise properly. So you just want to do it in like a smooth motion, just get that, oh, it's stuck to the fork. Just get it kind of together and then just let it sit for about 10 minutes and it will dissolve on its own. All right, so now that the yeast is dissolving on its own over there in the corner, we're gonna work on the flour mixture. So what we need here is 2.5 cups of bread flour, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'll do a time lapse of me mixing that together as you do the same. So before you put the olive oil in and the other wet products, you want to mix the dry products together so they evenly mixture, I don't know what I'm saying. So they're mixed evenly throughout. So let's just stir these dry products together. And and then add our 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So around the time you finish this, the yeast should be fully dissolved and look something like this, just kind of like a milky water texture. So just dump the entire thing into your flour mixture and then stir it up. And then after you stir it up, it should create a dough-like consistency. So let me just fast forward through this and show you what it should look like in the final product. All right, so as you can see, it's a nice little dough ball, and all we have to do now is cover it with a paper towel, as so, and let it sit for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So let me jump ahead to when it's fully risen, because I guess I should explain. Letting it sit for that time lets the yeast do its work and rise, so it creates a more airy dough. So let's let that sit for a few minutes, and I'll catch back up with you after mine is risen. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. Let's go check on it and see how it looks. Looks pretty good. So mine doubled in size, which yours should do about the same. It's got quite the heft to it. So what we're gonna do now is we need to knead it. I do it about 60 times. A lot of bread recipes don't say to knead it that many times, but I found the more you knead it, the softer and more airy the dough gets, and it just creates a great flavor. So while you're kneading, let's go preheat the grill so it's ready to put on. Now, before you judge me for having, let me turn this around. Before you judge me for having an electric grill, I know it sucks, but my apartment complex requires it, so yeah, don't judge. I'm tired after that. My wrists are hurting. But if you notice during that process, I put oil on it. It's because my dough is drying out, and covering it in oil just made it, gave it some moisture to like make it dough consistency, and made it easier to, having a breath. Made it easier to knead. So you should have something like this. It looks like pretty good dough consistency where it's solid, not falling apart. And from here, we're just gonna make our pizza size. So if you want, cut this in half for 2 separate pizzas, or use the one dough for 1 mega pizza. I'm gonna cut mine in half and shape it into the dough form. So let's do a time lapse of that. All right, so looks pretty good. Looks like a pizza dough. Mine are kind of small, and this dough recipe is my personal recipe. I intentionally make it denser just because it works really well on the grill. So you may not be able to get it like a full 12-inch pizza like you might be able to with other oven recipes. Just keep in mind this is a very dense piece of dough, and it's just ideal for the grill. So trust me, it'll turn out good. It may be smaller, but it's good. All right, so let's take it out to the grill. Oh, man, I can't open the door. How am I gonna do this? Let me just hold both with one hand. Alright, so while the bottom half is cooking, let's get my toppings out. So I think I want to make like a margarita pizza, which is pretty simple. So I basically just need garlic, which I already have out. Let's do fresh mozzarella. Sorry, my fridge is a mess. Fresh mozzarella. Got some Sam's pack of garlic. Look how big this garlic is. Okay, so I need some basil. Let's get these basil. Do I have any tomatoes? I think I might. Let's see. I don't know. I might put an onion on there. I really like, oh, there's a tight space in here. I really like putting onions on the grill, letting them cook. Oh, the camera's over there. Letting them cook on the grill and then putting them on the pizza. So it's kind of like grilled onions. So onions, mozzarella, garlic, basil. I don't have very many toppings. It's the beginning of the week and we don't have any leftovers in there. So yeah, so those are my toppings, and let's cut to some video footage of me putting on there. I keep looking at the screen. I need to look at the camera because that's where y'all are. All right, let's do this. All right, so I got my toppings ready to go, and at this point, the pizza should be done, so let's go check on it. I need a spatula. I don't have any spatulas. This'll work. All right, let's go check on it. I might need to flip it. All right, so a little burnt. I think that's just because I'm distracted making this video. But essentially, you're gonna flip it over like I just did, and now we can put the toppings on it because that'll cook it all. So let's go do that. I think it's too distracting trying to do this. I'm by myself, so I'm just gonna cut ahead to what it should look like. Alright, so as you saw, I put all the toppings on the cook side and I closed the lid so it can kind of steam and the cheese can melt, get all nice and gooey. The bottom, I turned the heat down to low so it doesn't cook as fast because I think I had it too high the first time and the top burnt a little. So turn your grill down to low and let it sit. Make sure you keep an eye on it so it doesn't sneak up on you and burn. But yeah, close the lid, put it on low, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes just for the cheese to melt, and yeah, enjoy. So I guess I'll cut ahead to what my final product looks like with some beauty shots maybe, and yeah. Alright guys, here it is. It looks so good. And trust me when I say this, it smells so good too. I was sitting next to the grill and I could just smell it and I wanted it. But yeah, so I hope you were able to follow along. If you had any questions, just leave a comment below and I'll be sure to clarify stuff. You guys have to try this. This pizza is so good and the grill makes it taste so good too. But yeah, as far as this video, I hope you would like it. If you tried it, be sure to leave a big thumbs up, a comment saying how it went, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. I will see y'all in the next video.